Welcome to the final round of the 2012 Nitto Tire United States Touring Car Championship. We're here at Sonoma Raceway again. My name is Jeff Lepper. I'm here with Rick Nannini as we get ready to set the grid for the final round, the championship round as we call it here.
Yes, Jeff, this is going to be an exciting race with 7 guys having a chance to win the championship here today, mathematically still alive. However, the top 4 have a legitimate shot at it, and it's going to be very interesting to see who will take home the crown today.
When you look at those top 4 guys, you have leading that Robert Thorne, followed by Chris Locke. Those guys are only 10 points apart from each other. We can't count out Felipe Cabezas or that strong team of Pete Bovenberg and Brandon Krause.
Well, let's get down to the interviews. I think Rebecca's down there talking to some of these guys and see what they have to say.
I have snagged one of our team owners, Ron Valtiera, owner of T&I Racing. I've got some questions for you. Rare opportunity that I've got you and not the drivers. Cars seem like they're ready and prepped. You're not panicked, so welcome.
Well, thank you. Coming into this weekend actually was a little bit of a panic. After the Laguna round at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, Felipe had announced an emergency trip to Chile. Ooh. So that kind of left us without a driver for this particular weekend, but we've had a driver with us, Tim Barber, who from TFB Performance here in Sonoma has done a lot of development work on both of the cars before, so it made a logical choice for us to ask him at the last minute to drive this last race.
And the all-important 10 points between you and Chris Locke, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's exciting being here and having a close championship. It's nice to run away with it and be relaxed on the last weekend, but you know, we're racers. We're here to race and put on a good show. So Locke's fast this weekend. He out-qualified us yesterday by just a 10th, I believe, and I think we have a little bit something for him today, but I know he's improving just as fast as we are.
Having a year that we didn't think we were going to have, so being in the fight in the last event is just really awesome. Everyone on the team is excited. And yeah, second place qualifying, that's also our best qualifying effort. So everything seems to be going our way this weekend.
And starting on the pole position for round number 8, Dave Brown and Karl Chicca in the competition Kurtz Mitsubishi Ralliart. Chris Locke on the outside of pole position in the Roger Krause Racing Honda Prelude.
Row 2 is all T&I Racing with Felipe Cabezas and Tim Barber in the T&I Racing Mazda Speed 3. Next to him, Doug Makashima in the other T&I Racing Mazda Speed 3.
Row 3 goes with Robert Thorne in the Auto Parts Warehouse Volvo C30, followed by Ali Arsham in his GoGoEater.com UTI Hyundai Genesis Coupe.
Next we have the Ho Chan team in the B&K Motoring Honda Civic. Next to him, Larry Banney in the second GoGoGear.com UTI Racing BMW M3.
Next row there, Sean Yu in the Domport Auto Body Honda Civic, followed by Kurt Simmons in the team with Brad McClure now in the Cornwell Tools MBO Dodge SRT4.
Next we have Andy Chittum in the BTM Niello Mini Cooper S. Next to him, Pete Bovenberg, who jumped into a backup car in the MBO Motorsports Chevy Cobalt SS rather than his normal Honda Civic.
Outside row number 7, Tom Milburn in the Speedy Motorsports Acura Integra, followed by Rich Wu in the GoGo Gear UTI Acura Integra.
Next is Percy Howard in the Evil Genius Racing Honda Prelude, and then next to him is Reeves Tam Accutech Racing Honda Del Sol.
Onto our GT pole sitter, that's going to be Ken Kurtz in the Weld Racing TPIS Pontiac Firebird, followed by Ralph Warren in his Maxxis Total Lubricant BMW M3.
Next is Daniel Akramstuff in the Akramstuff Racing BMW M3. Next to him, Jim Stevens, Inverter Technologies BMW M3.
And to finish off our GT field, Jeff Sykes in the European Motorworks BMW M3, and John Trefethen coming back here in the Trefethen Vineyards Ford Mustang GT.
Okay, that's the field rundown for you, and the green flag should be ready to go. And there it is, green flag for the round 8 of the Nitto Tires United States Touring Car Championship.
And sure enough, in that Lancer Ralliart, Dave Brown, look at that jump he gets. All-wheel drive in that Mitsubishi off to the line, into the lead. But wow, what a great start from Larry Banney, his BMW. You see him going there in that UTI GoGoGear.com BMW as we go on board with Chris Locke.
Wow, look at the jump that Mitsubishi has on Chris Locke. Chris looks like he missed the gear. It was so fast in there.
Yeah, but he's definitely wheeling that car. You can already see him stalling at that wheel as he comes up here. Little cold tires in those NT01s. Got to get those Nittos up to temperature as he slots into second place. Not able to hold second, though, as Felipe Cabezas makes the pass for second. A little bump there as they go to the top of 3. Another bump! You don't want to be touching through those 2 corners.
Wow, these guys are seriously.
This is bumper cars, not U.S. touring car.
This is great racing. Now let's get on board Larry Benny. Watch his beautiful start. Look at that! Oh, talk about thread in the needle.
Rear-wheel drive BMW against the front-wheel drive Mazdas, and boy, you can see Ollie Arsham and his Hyundai Genesis Coupe as well, rear-wheel drive, getting that great start. And here goes that battle with Felipe Cabezas and Chris Locke. Uh-oh. No, Larry drops off into the dirt. That's got to be heartbreaking.
Boy, beautiful start for Larry down the tubes. Look at that as all these cars go by him. Oh, man. Here's the turn 2 view. Maybe we'll see a different view of it.
Slide off. I'm not sure if he got in the marbles there a little bit, but yes, definitely no grip out for him as Ben Ho tries to follow him right behind him as well. You see our GT field getting the green flag there as well with King Kurtz leading there.
Now watching the Dave Brown as he seems to have pulled off a 2-second lead right there. While Chris Locke and Tim Barber and the blue Mazda are dicing with each other. And something's up with the Hyundai. The Hyundai seems to have a problem too, so not a very good day for the Go-Go Gear team today with Larry going off. And looks like the Hyundai's having some issues.
That's right, Tim Barber now filling in for Felipe Cabezas in that T&I Racing Mazda 3 there. The blue one, the red Mazda 3, that's Doug Makishima running that one. But we do see Dave Brown through the carousel here, and still nose to tail, Tim Barber and Chris Locke. Rest of the field sliding down through the carousel now. We should see a glimpse of our GT leader. There he is.
Ken Kurtz.
Ken Kurtz on the outside. Pontiac. Jeff Sykes on the outside, though, in that Pontiac Firebird.
Yeah, the BMW having the edge in the turns and the Pontiac having the edge in the straightaways. That's going to be a race-long battle. Looks like the blue Mazda of Tim Barber is going to have the edge on the Chris Locke's Prelude.
Yeah, got the preferred line there through turn number 7, coming to the outside. Now Chris is going to have to defend against the T&I teammate there of Doug Makishima, but I see a little bit of white smoke coming out of the back of that Mazda there, Rick. I think they've had problems here all year in that Mazda.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the race, and with Tim Barber does not have any issues, but the red Mazda has been a problem child for this team for a long time. But they've hoped that they've figured this out. So we'll see how this goes and if this car sticks throughout.
We did see Ollie Arsham. Looks like a left front tires were getting reported from the pit lane there on that Hyundai Genesis Coupe, and he is trying to get that nurse back over there. Has the hazard lights on. That's good there. Good avoidance
gotta be
for him
safe.
as well.
Gotta be safe.
Now, we've seen this from Dave Brown before, though, however, in that Life's Good Racing competition clutch, Mitsubishi ran at Ralliart. Reliability issues in this car as well. He does pull out new early leads, but starts to slowly back up. We'll have to see if he can continue this lead or he's going to have problems throughout the race.
Here's a view from Doug Makishima's T&I Racing Mazda Speed 3, as I think the Prelude here is attempting a pass. Nice move by Tim Barber to allow this pass to happen. He could have easily closed the door and caused a collision, but nice move by Tim. And Chris Locke back to second place. Although it looks like it's being challenged again. This is not going to be over by any time soon.
Yeah, the battle for second, though, heating up between Chris Locke, Tim Barber, and Doug Makishima. They are nose to tail. Cannot lay a blanket over those 3 cars. I cannot predict who that's going to be right now. And you see our championship leader there. We can't forget about that, Robert Thorne, as Pete Bovenberg way wide in turn number 2. Not sure if there was any contact there.
No, I think it must be greasy or the marbles or something around that turn. We saw that happen to a few people today. So
well, that's Larry Banny's excuse. Bovenberg can't use that excuse too.
Well, whatever it was, it looked like he was slowing down definitely through there. But yeah, it looks like, and then we have another big battle between the orange Dodge Neon of Kurt Simmons, the Volvo of the Robert Thorne, and the Mini of Andy Chittum. Those 3 guys seem to be in a pretty good big battle too at the moment.
Well, with Chris Locke in second place right now and Robert Thorne all the way back in 6th, the championship right now as it goes to Chris Locke.
Right now, Chris is wishing there was a checkered flag right now. That's what he's wishing for right now. Just finish this. I want to go home, collect my trophy.
Yeah, race is over. I'm the championship winner. But look at Dave Brown, man, putting the whipping on the field in that competition clutch Mitsubishi Lancer Ralliart, like we mentioned before. Had problems all year with reliability as Doug Makishima jumps a couple wheels off there in the corkscrew, or sorry, coming out of the carousel. Not exactly what you want to do in that car. Is a good close-up here of Kurt Simmons now in that Stevens Creek Dodge Neon SRT4.
Yeah, but Robert Thorne in the Volvo we're looking at right now, he is being told on the radio, you need to pass some more cars if you want to win this championship. You need to get by these cars.
Yeah, that 3R Racing, K-Pax Racing crew is definitely talking to him to try to nurse him through. It's not over until the checkered flag goes by any means, even though mathematically Chris is the winner now, sitting in second place.
Yeah, well, they need at least 2, maybe 3 more positions, I think, something around there to win the championship. So the Volvo team has their work cut out for them, but in the meantime, Chris is pounding away and is hoping that the checkered flag comes out sooner than rather than later.
So current running order, Dave Brown in his Mitsubishi Lancer Ralliart, Chris Locke in his Honda Prelude, there's Tim Barber in the TNI Racing Mazda Speed 3 locking those wheels up. Let's see if Doug Makashima can get around him here on the replay.
Look at that.
And he does. I know that car has ABS, not sure if they're having ABS issues, but look at Doug Makashima now, that TNI Racing Mazda Speed 3. See if he can get into third place here. The battle's on the teammates. I know the only team rules is don't hit each other.
Yeah, and
other
you know,
than that, let's go race.
Doug could have forced the issue there, but I think he was being nice because it was his teammate and let him through, because that could have gotten ugly as well.
Watching the cars go up through top of turn number 3, down to the hard right-hander braking zone, turn number 4. Kurt Simmons now with the battle there with Tim Barber and Doug Makashima, able to close the door in 5th place right now, followed by Robert Thorne in 6th.
Yeah, actually, Kurt Simmons has really closed the gap well. He might be a player in this whole championship fight too. Whoa, Larry, take it easy there, my friend.
Larry's driving on a mission right now after having that great start, throwing it all the way in turn number 2 as the TNI Racing Mazda Speed 3 of Doug Makashima continues to smoke along, but still pushing down through there.
As long as he doesn't run out of oil, I think he'll be in good shape. That's the only thing. Hopefully they have a huge oil canister on board. But yeah, it's quite interesting. 2 identical cars. One has different issues than others, but both are about the same speed, it looks like. And, oh, look at this. We have the GT class leader, Ken Kurtz, in the Pontiac, catching up to these guys. That's going to be interesting, I hope. Do you remember what happened a few races back when the GT pass caused a few little shuffle in the top order of touring cars?
Absolutely. The GT leader there slotted between the 2 top touring cars. That allowed Brandon Krause to pull away, and that was at the 2nd race of the World Touring Car Championship race right here at Sonoma Raceway.
Yeah, so hopefully that will not happen, but so far so good. Let's see what goes on here as the Pontiac starting to pass the touring cars now, catching up to Robert Thorne.
Yeah, he got around Andy Chittum there in the Mini, and now he's slotted himself between the Volvo and the Mini. But I know Ken does not want to throw this away. I think he already has the championship locked up before this round for our GT championship as we go on board now with Robert Thorne, and you can see the G meter and the loads that they're doing in that Auto Parts Warehouse Volvo C30. What a great camera shot as he's right behind Kurt Simmons down here to turn number 7. Watch the braking G's that this car's has.
Watch how much more speed Pontiac has down the straightaway as he just blows by the Volvo.
Well, I was mentioning it before, you know, Kurt will wait till the straightaway and use the power of that V8, and he sure enough did there. Got by both of those cars down that little short straightaway in turn number 6.
Yeah, so, but geez, the time is ticking away. Now we're about halfway into this race, and as of right now, Chris Locke still has the championship locked up. So I'm sure everybody's heart's pounding down at their both teams right now. But we'll see.
Getting word now that yes, corner workers are starting to look at the back of Doug Nakashima's car to make sure that we don't have any fluids down out of that car, and as long as there's no fluids, he can smoke all he wants. So let him keep going until it either melts the car down or blows up or the race is over.
You know, Chris Locke is actually doing really well. He hasn't closed the gap, but he's maintained the gap, where the gap has pretty much been the same between himself and Dave Brown.
Yeah, watching Tim Barber there trying to still run him down now as Ken Kurtz is their GT leader in that Yokohama TPIS Pontiac Firebird course, racing on Yokohama slicks in the GT open tire rule there, as all the touring cars have to be on that great Nitto NTO1 tire.
This is actually going to work out really well for Chris Locke, I think, because he doesn't care about winning the race. He just wants, you know, second place is just fine for him. And where he's at right now, he's in a safe place. There's nobody ahead of him, nobody behind him. He's got a nice gap, and he just has to continue doing some laps and until the race ends.
Well, it's always great to be where you want to be, and we saw that little white puff of smoke now out of the back of Dave Brown's on that upshift there, and reliability's been an issue on that car as well. So I think Chris is actually sitting pretty in his Honda Prelude.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets the win, if something happens to the Mitsubishi and Chris gets the win, that's an extra bonus points for him, which will not. I think when we did the math, if Locke were to win the race, he would automatically win the championship no matter what.
No matter what anybody else does.
But if he finishes second, then there's other consequences. So we'll see how that goes. As we watch Daryl Chan, Ben Ho team in the Honda Civic SI. This is the yellow and white Civic. Whoa! It's getting a little sideways and looks like missed it in the camera. Let's see if we can watch it on in-car.
He's looking back at that GT car. He turns into turn number 1 here. Everything looks normal here as Ben Ho comes up to the top there. Really fighting the wheel on that handling of that car. Gets a little bit loose under braking. Misses the apex downshifts and yes, does fall off and...
Nice. Avoids hitting the wall.
Barely misses that tire wall, boy. I thought for sure he was in the wall, but
yeah,
nope.
that was close. That was the third time turn 2. Oh, look at him shaking his head. He knows he made a mistake.
Yeah, you got nobody to blame but yourself there, unfortunately. And you can call back to your pits and tell them there was oil on the ground and try to play it off, but that's the only way you can make that happen.
Well, there's got to be something. That's 3 cars in the same turn, same thing. So...
Field spreading out a little bit is our second place now. Jeff Sykes and his BMW. I'm sorry, that is...
that's the Maxxis car. That's Ralph Warren and the Maxxis Total Lubricants BMW 135i, who's in second place right now in the GT category.
We talk about tires, and the GT is open with Yokohama's on the Pontiac Firebird. Ralph Warren ran those Maxim tires, and Maxxis has actually stepped up a lot in their racing tire development program and really using the BMW i35i as their platform here in the United States Touring Car GT category.
Yeah, they say that those tires are still in the prototype stages, so they're still not available for sale to the public, from what I understand. But they're still developing those tires, and looks like they're doing pretty well. And
a tire that needs no development now for the touring cars, the Nitto NT01s, putting it to the work is Dave Brown currently leading. We got Chris Locke in second, Tim Barber in the T&I Racing Mazda Speed 3 in third, and followed by his teammate that we're focusing on now at the bottom of the carousel there, the T&I Racing Mazda Speed 3 of Doug Makashima.
Dave Brown Mitsubishi, one more lap in through turn 11 as the GT car of Ken Kurtz, the GT leader, is now starting to catch up and become the overall leader.
Both of our leaders back to back there as you still see him around second place now. No effect there. Those guys weren't nose to tail there, so Ken could take his time and get past the leaders.
Boy, it looks like the race has settled down a little bit. The second gap here, Doug's fallen back a little bit. Now Doug Makashima and the T&I Racing red Mazda Speed 3, along with that orange Dodge, about together, but pretty close together, along with that Maxxis Total Lubricant BMW 135 that's right in the GT category.
Yeah, Robert Thorne still in 6th now, not able to improve on his position at all, and that's going to be devastating for their championship hopes if he does not change it up. I know their team is probably praying for some reliability issues that we've had all year, as you see Ken Kurtz now overall leader in his Yokohama TPIS Pontiac Firebird.
Yes, but again, look at... Oh, now...
Oh my God! We just said they needed reliability issues, but how about a yellow flag to bunch the field back up? We are full course yellow right now, and that lead that Dave Brown had and Robert Thorne needed to catch up. Here is the chance as we see the NASA Mazda 6 pace car there leading Ken Kurtz, our overall leader, followed by Dave Brown, our touring car leader, Chris Locke, Tim Barber, Doug Makashima, Kurt Simmons, Robert Thorne in 6th.
Yeah, one of the back marker cars seems to have crashed. Unfortunately, crashed when there's no camera, so we can't show it to you. Yeah, this bunches up the field with only a couple laps to go. This could get interesting.
Yeah, this is going to change everything here. Now we'll have to see how this plays out as
we
are back under green now. Green flag there, and look at the run Kurt Simmons gets. He's going to get around there. Doug Makashima now into 3rd, gets around Tim Barber, but Kurt blows turn number 1, goes way wide into the dirt.
Oh boy, you can see in different cameras. He avoids hitting anything. Thank God, gets back on the track. But my goodness, that was pretty close.
Now Robert Thorne into 5th with Chris Lock back into 3rd, and that puts Robert Thorne into the championship
pack.
now.
4
But
cars
watch,
side by side. Whoa!
and Chris Lock and Doug Nakashima get together on the bumper there. They're still side by side. Nobody giving an inch now as Robert Thorne has to follow Chris Lock through. Robert Thorne into 5th, Chris Lock into 3rd.
Wow, Thorne made a beautiful move there. Made his move when he had to. That was fantastic. Let's watch on board Chris Lock. See what went on here.
Yeah, back in the replay, boy, there is action everywhere now as Chris all the way out to the outside there, still fighting the car. Doug Nakashima on his inside there. They were 4 wide at one point.
Well, it looks like he got pushed a little bit by Doug, and which caused him to lose a little bit of momentum. But boy, and then they get back and they touch a couple of times. Looks like back in turn 3 and 3A. Boy,
Yeah, right here, you're going to see the right front.
That could have been pretty nasty. And we go back on Doug's view from all this to see what he saw.
Yeah, this will be exciting here because you're not really going to see the car of Chris Lock getting into him, but you will see him try to get around him. And boy, was they battling for this. This is a championship battle, not let alone just a race battle.
Yeah, definitely. This is seriously, this is what after a whole season of racing, this is what's going to come down to, the last 2 laps of the race. Everybody's got to show each other what they got because this is it.
Yeah, but Robert Thorne now as well has to make his moves, and we're still watching that replay here of Doug Nakashima trying to get that position from Chris Lock, and I think Chris Lock's going to get the better of him here right at the end as we go on board with Robert Thorne in that K-Pax Racing Volvo C30 3R racing prepped car. As you can see that great G and see that the G's and the speed that he is taking this fair is Kurtz Simmons. You'll see a great view of him going way wide in turn number 1.
Yeah, actually, Robert had a pretty good move here. He really gained some positions in this restart. This restart really helped him out here.
Yeah, it probably helped him enough that now, doing the math here, Robert Thorne would be our championship if it stays where it's at.
Wow, look at those guys. This is a pretty good view of what goes on between Doug and on the Prelude of Chris Lock.
And that could have went either way. If Doug would have got sideways and crashed into Chris, and then Robert would have got tangled up in that, the championship could have went to Felipe Cabezas and Tim Barber.
And actually, keep in mind, if had Doug spun too, there could have been some other potential penalties and things too. So,
and I know none of these drivers want to have a championship based on a penalty, so I'm glad we're able to race it out.
But now look at this. Tim Barber definitely wants to get by. He wants to show his new boss that he can drive this thing, that he belongs in here, so he wants to get by that Volvo of Thorne. Ken Kurtz in the GT class and Dave Brown, sorry, I forgot his name. Dave Brown in the Mitsubishi Lancer, they've checked out, but behind them, this battle is getting crazy.
Yeah, Chris Lock in 2nd now, followed by Doug Nakashima in 3rd, Robert Thorne in 4th, and then we have Tim Barber now in 5th place with Kurt Simmons in 6th. It's going to be a battle till the end here. Only 2 laps left, so I think we're coming around for that last lap as Ken Kurtz still in the dirt. I believe that little neon SRT4 prefers the dirt. As white flag there, 1 lap to get it done. This is the championship coming down here, 1 lap left.
Wow, this is going to be exciting. Everybody's holding their breath. Everybody's doing the math right now.
I got my pencil. I'm trying to figure it out right now. If it stays where it's at, who's going to be our champion?
I think if it's where it's at, I think Chris Lock. It goes down to a tiebreaker.
It might go down to a tiebreaker. If it goes down to a tiebreaker, it would be Robert Thorne on the tiebreaker. According to the record books here, it goes by who has the most wins, and I believe that would go to Robert Thorne.
Actually, no. Wait a minute. No. Robert still has 5 points. Is 5 points ahead at this moment. Robert would win it.
Let me carry the 7 minus the 3. Hold on, I gotta take my shoe off and count toes. Okay, you're right. Yes, Robert Thorne would win right now if he stays in 4th place.
Boy, can you imagine being in that position where you're being hounded from all sides and you have to... Oh!
And he doesn't do it. Wow, Doug Nakashima locks the brakes up. Robert Thorne gets around. Now, Robert Thorne in that auto parts warehouse, 3R K-Pax Volvo into 3rd place, right behind Chris Lock. He's only got 4 corners left to win a championship.
Now he would win the championship if it finished down to this.
Yeah, watch this here as we see. You'll see the white smoke there from Doug Nakashima as he goes down into turn number 7 there. Just way overcooked the brakes there. And those Nitto NTO1s. Look at this now. Tim Barber trying to put it to the K-Pax Racing Volvo C30. Not sure if he can make that stick, and he does not. Boy, he's got to hold him off here as they're coming around for the checkered flag.
Boy, if I was Robert Thorne, I don't know what I'd be doing, but would I be smiling because I got to go buy the red car, or would I be sweating because I got this blue car on my butt?
Down into turn number 10 here. They are nose to tail here. One last chance for Tim Barber and the Felipe Cabezas team. Tim Barber driving now down into turn number 11. Can they both get around him, affect this championship? But let's not forget, Dave Brown has checked out. Chris Locke is just praying that he can stay in this position, and those two Mazdas can get around that Volvo. Boy, one last chance here.
Turn 10, 2 more turns to go.
Oh, the Volvo gets loose. He's right on his back bumper. This is for a championship, folks. Tim Barber and his Mazda Racing T&I coming down on the inside here. Can he stick it? He puts his nose in, down on the inside. Robert's going to close the door. He does give him room, though. It's going to be a drag race for a championship. It's not going to be determined until the final corner.
And speaking of championship, Ken Kurtz is going to be our GT champion. Here he comes, trying to score the win and the championship together for his, I think, 4th consecutive championship in the GT. But for the checkered flag, Ken Kurtz wins the race and the title. Dave Brown wins the race and the 2nd race in the season.
Let's look for 2nd place here. Who's it going to be? It is Chris Locke in 2nd. Now 3rd.
Oh!
3rd! And just nipped him with 4th. Okay, now we got to go back to the books
again. So Tim Barber edged out the Volvo, which means that they're tied.
They're tied for the lead right now.
They're tied for the championship lead. So it goes to a tiebreaker, and in the tiebreaker, the Volvo gets the win in the tiebreaker for having another, as we see, the Ken Kurtz celebrating with his donut.
Wow, way to go for Ken Kurtz now. And like you said, 4-time champion. Reverse burnout there. Back to the shades of old P.D. Cunningham and his Nissan Sentra SER doing that reverse burnout. But how about Robert Thorne winning the championship? 2012 Nitto Tire United States Touring Car Champion. But how about Dave Brown, Karl Chicca, getting that car back together now? Reliability woes seem to be gone. Your race number 8 winner.
Standing here with the 2012 Nitto Tire United States Touring Car Champion, Robert Thorne. Robert, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you have had a hard-fought season. This is at no point, I mean, well, I don't want to say at no point, but coming into the race, there was 10 points between you and Chris Locke, and it came down to quite the tiebreakers.
Yeah, it was very close coming in, with 1st to 2nd being 10-point split, and only having 10 points between us. We were putting our best foot forward this weekend, making sure we weren't making any mistakes, making sure we were fast on the track.
And we had a bit of a restart because of some full course yellows. So tell me about that. That really helped you.
Yeah, without the yellow, we would have been a sit and duck. Sitting in 6th position behind Simmons was not good for us. That would have put us just out of the points championship. So we needed to make up 2 positions, and the restart gave us that opportunity. I made a jump, a good jump coming into turn 1, and that got us up close. Simmons got wide, and we were able to take over one of the Mazdas going into turn 4 as they were trying to hold up lock. So it was really exactly what we needed, and it put us in a great position for the last 2 laps of the race.
Thanks for joining us. Tune in again next time when we'll bring you another exciting episode of Final Drive TV with the latest news from the world of cars. For more information and to view complete episodes, please visit us at finaldrive.net.